Alright, so having that compressor out in the forest was absolute bullshit. I bought that compressor on the premise that my FX Impact M3 in 22 caliber was going to be capable of shooting upwards of 300 pellets, and I thought that was fine. I wasn't going to shoot that many pellets in any single session. I found out that was wrong. When the gun is set up for first reg at 140 bar, second reg at 90 bar, and we're shooting 950 feet per second. I was shooting a 13.4 grain pellet at the time. I was only able of shooting 3 28 shot magazines and then needing a refill. And so, you know, we had the battery and the compressor up in the forest, and you know, that just wasn't acceptable, all that noise, and it just wanted to go in a different direction. I realized that that was a mistake. So we went ahead and purchased an Alkin W31 in vertical, full auto. So we're liking that. And then I wanted to take the moment to show you the tank. Of course, the way to go is just to bring a carbon fiber tank. And I wanted to go over my setup with this iteration of what I've got here. So what I have is a 9-liter carbon fiber tank from Airguns, Utah Airguns. And I didn't want to stop and get the, you know, the mesh that goes over the tank, the end cap and all of that. I found that this bag, tank tote bag from Airguns of Arizona, was going to cover protecting the tank all in one shot. It has a nice padding within the container. The end piece is protected, everything's protected. We have a bit of a a mesh material up here that's tightened down, and then really the only carbon fiber that's exposed is just up here in the head. So that's what I purchased as far as protecting the tank. And the bag is great. I don't use the shoulder harness. We just lift it up and carry it in. The next item was, I didn't like the fact that I see folks out there charging their gun just by throttling the manifold gauge, or the manifold valve. I thought that's kind of dangerous. Anything can happen. We're dealing with 4,500 psi. If we get the ladies involved and they want to sit down and then they need to charge, it's you know, it's just not safe for those not knowing what's going on with the fill system. So I wanted to bring in a regulator. So after looking around, I see there was a lot of regulators that, you know, quite large, right, quite intrusive. I wanted to be quite streamlined. So I found the Regboy out of Air Tanks Plus. So this is pretty nice. We have that set up for the 250 bar that my FX is limited to. I understand that it does go up to 300 bar, but it is marked 250 bar, and that's fine. So we brought that in. That way there, we always can just fill the gun and not worry about watching any gauges. To do that, I wanted to be a bit streamlined, so Edgun has this quick fill system. So I didn't purchase the complete system. I only purchased their DIN connector with the swivel top on that with a Foster fitting. And so I didn't, I didn't want the regulator has a DIN connector on it, and we can go on to the end there, but we'd be sticking out right out to here, and I just wanted to be streamlined. So this was a nice fit here. That hose comes on back to another Foster fitting that's onto a male DIN to female adapter. and this was out of Air Guns of Arizona as well. And then from there we go through the regulator and we're adjusted to that 250 bar, and we come off there, and I've got the hoses just set in the bag here, so they just sit right in there. And then out of there we come over to the second part of the Edgun fill system, which is where their quick lever fill system. So and then from there we go to a 90-degree from Air Products as well, and then on to a quick disconnect right to the gun. So just a couple of leads there, a holder, throw up the ear protection for when you're running over the range, because what I'm want to make sure that I'm not too crazy about is I'm going to have the FX case with the gun in it in one hand, and then I should be able to have this in my other hand. So I'm looking at, you know, having this house a few things. I could probably put my you know, a few accessories in here, and then have my hearing protection hang off of it. What's nice is in the end, even though these microbore hoses don't hold a lot of air when you are filling, and then you go to release that pressure at the regulator so that you can take your quick disconnect off, there's quite a bit of air in there, and if you open up the valve a little too fast, you'll get a pretty good rush of air, which and then you look up and to see everybody in the gun range looking at you. So what's nice about the Edgun is once you release the lever, it will bleed off what air is in the remaining of the system, so there's only a slight little hiss. So the safety aspect of this is at the range we can set this on the ground. We have a 30-inch microbore hose to come up to the table. We just simply have to open up the valve and then connect to the gun, and simply when it's time to fill, we just hold down the lever and let it fill. We don't have to watch anything, we don't have to maintain any eye contact in any gauges, and we're totally safe. Once the gun is filled, we can just let off of that. It burps out the remaining air with not too much noise, and we like this a lot. To hold the regulator on, I noticed that the bag itself had a small pocket here, and then with it had a comes with a little bit of Velcro strap. So I noticed that the Velcro strap could go right around the bottom of the regulator, and then I just threw one of these wire twisties onto it to just support it. Other than that, that is my setup. We just have to lift that up and carry that right to the range, set it on the ground, disconnect your quick disconnect, bring it up to the gun, and turn on the valve and fill the gun without any recourse of the safety end of am I going to overfill, are we going to have an accident here. So thanks for watching. I just wanted to run over what I've done to replace that noisy compressor out in the field. Thanks for watching.
Not sure if you can see that. Got one of those spin left and right multi-size targets out there. Tell you what, there's one thing I've learned today is that I need more magazines. I have loaded these 6 2 times, and I'm going to load them up a 3rd time. And I tell you what, I never want to go home.
So lesson number 3, understand your air rifle's needs. Don't make the mistake of going out and buying a compressor that really isn't going to suit your needs. Remember, you need to be out in the field. For me, I learned the lesson to move away from a small compressor over to a larger one and have this 9-liter carbon fiber tank out in the field. with Regboy regulator so we can stay safe. And we've got the Edgun quick fill system. So that helps you keep everybody safe if they're going to be filling the gun without you present. The instructions would be quite simple. Turn on the valve and fill the gun, and when we're done, close the valve and bleed off any remaining air pressure. Real simple.